next stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest back in the building, back home, back in the city, all that good stuff. Envy Caine in the building. Welcome to the show, bro.
What's up, my boy?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, too.
How we feeling? Like, what's the energy today? How we feeling?
You know what I'm feeling?
What?
Situated.
Situated. Yeah, I like that. Like, let's give some flowers first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
Because people, low-key, I want to put this out the same day as the freestyle, right? Because I think the freestyle and this interview coming out the same day would be very different than what I normally do. But for people who are watching this interview after the freestyle, right, if I do this, that freestyle was a one take.
Okay.
Right? That was a one take. It was raw. It was a real freestyle. And I'm like, I feel like the conversation about you since you've been back home is a lot of people are excited because, obviously you're known as like a lyricist. You're known as one of the best of your generation, right? So I'm just excited to have you back, man. And man, one take, legendary beats, going into your first day out freestyle, right? Because that's what I'm gonna call it. What was kind of like, where was your headspace at with this? Because I feel like a lot of people would expect you to come home and do some drill shit, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's kind of like what they expect, right?
I thought the same thing.
Because they expect you to come home, be on hots, you know what I'm saying? But like, why did you decide to take this route with what we did here today?
Like me, I really wanted people who'd never heard of me before. I noticed like this platform is like bigger than what I assumed it was being in the jail and shit.
Right.
So like, I really wanted people who don't know me to like have a little storyline to me too, like instead of just going by what they hear, Right. So I made sure like I get them some real New York City lyrical content to let them know like I understand the culture. Right.
Why did you pick like the beats though in that respect? Because like those beats are like iconic.
Yeah.
And in that and like you could have picked like you could have had one of your mans make a beat. You could have done this. But like why is there a specific reason for those beats besides them being iconic, or is just like that's the mode that you was in when you was kind of getting ready for this?
It's like a conglomerate of everything. It's like me being from Brooklyn. Like I feel like hip hop is based. For the generation that I admire, is based upon like MCs, like really keeping the culture with bars, lyrics, similes, metaphors, and like that's what's missing out of the culture with this generation sometimes because of the drill scene. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like I want to always still keep that in me, just to make sure like everything is perfect. No Diddy. Yeah.
I guess we started early today, huh? Well, look, but like you said like you feel like that wasn't or isn't part of the drill scene, but you come from this drill scene. But you also come from a time where everything was more lyrical, for sure, in the drill music, right?
Yeah.
Throughout the time, like, what do you kind of feel like, or I don't know if you would even, I don't know how you would say this, but like, what do you feel like was like the catalyst where you feel like things changed from even drill music in New York being a certain level of, or holding a certain level of lyricism to kind of like where it's at now, where it's not really as lyrical as like when you were really like first starting to make this drill music?
Like nowadays, from what I see since I've been home,
right? Because it's only been like a week.
And for the record, I respect the drill scene because I came from that. That's what built me up, and I admire what anybody doing because that's making the culture bigger. So, but I see like the scene with the drill music is not really like about lyricists, like lyrics too much. It's more so like a vibe, like and just getting your point across with a dance. It's kind of like, it's a whole like collection of everything. So compared to like before, we was just being kind of just disrespectful and getting our point across. You know what I mean? Right.
Now it's kind of like you had like the disrespectfulness with the dance and kind of like making something catchy for TikTok and shit too.
Definitely. It's like so much platforms is involved with the music now. It's like you making a song from more than one point of view now. Right. Compared to back then, you was just going in there and just, but it's still organic because it's real.
I mean, people, obviously people, I think like, I feel like you were already inside when the whole debate with the mayor and stuff was going on, right?
Yeah, I was arrested. I was in the feds.
Yeah, because that was 2021. I think that's when the mayor stuff was going on. Like, were you kind of like, even when you were in the feds, like, did you hear about everything that was going on with the mayor talking about drill music and kind of like, at that point, I feel like that was kind of like the height of people putting that spotlight on drill music and kind of trying to criticize it for what it was, at least here in New York.
Yeah.
So you did hear about it?
Yeah, I seen it in the newspaper when I was in the feds. I seen it in the New York newspaper. I was like, wow, Mayor Adams. I seen the sit down with the group of people that was there. I was like, all right, it's getting notoriety, but I wanted it to be for the right things, and I seen like, they was trying to get their point across good.
If you were home at that time, like what would you have, I guess, because you said you wanted it to be notarized for the right things, right? Like if you were invited to that meeting with Mayor Adams, right? Like let's say they were like, yo, MV pull up, meet with the mayor, talk about drill music. Like what would you have brought to that meeting or that conversation to kind of like, even if for some reason Mayor Adams is watching this right now, right?
Right,
what would that conversation, like what would be your points for that? Like what would you try to explain to him?
I would try to like make him understand, like for the youth, we like voicing our opinion on beats, like we like expressing ourselves in a way. Even if they assume it's condoning violence, it's really not really. It's just like a misunderstood situation.
Yeah.
And if they took time to understand everybody, because America's, got democracy, freedom of speech, supposed to understand people more. So before criticizing, try to like get involved, support your people. You feel me?
Right. And just try to be like also like this is what people live through too.
Yeah, like this is reality.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like you look at these situations, it's like they love to criticize the music in that respect or the contents of the music, but they never look past like okay, well, how do we help people? You know, it's just like, let's criticize it, try to get rid of it and ruin people's careers instead of like.
If you can't control it, they try to stay away from it. You feel me?
Exactly. But with you being inside, right? It's been 3 years, right? 2021. And you said that you seen that in like a newspaper while you were locked up. How much connection to the outside world did you really have? Because you said you had heard about things here and there. I think you said you heard about like us here On the Radar, but like how much were you really being able to stay in tune with what was going on out within the music scene out in New York? And I guess like beyond that too, like what were you kind of like consuming inside?
When I was inside, I used to listen to like iHeartRadio.
Okay.
When I was in the Feds, and I used to be keeping tune with like the latest music that's dropping. Then like my managers, both of them, like my team, everybody involved in my team, they really was like just keeping me up on things they felt that was necessary for me to know.
Right.
But like besides that, like I really was trying to distance myself from what was really going on to like reflect on myself, because I had to learn more values. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you like look back? Because like I think like when I have a lot of people who come home, especially do these first day out freestyles, they're still in this like phase of reflection still, because it's still very new for you to be out and back moving around. Like when you were inside, what were you kind of reflecting on like, you said the values, I think is a word that you had mentioned.
Yeah.
What were you like reflecting on from what you had done in the past that kind of led eventually to that like indictment and everything going on? Like, were you thinking about like kind of all the things that you had gone viral for and the music wise, online, the arguments, the fights? Like, were you really reflecting about that like old aspect of yourself too? Like what was kind of going through your head at that time?
I feel like the negative cloud I had over my head musically from like this music, or like you say, any internet antics or anything negative on my image, it was kind of like superseding my talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt like when I was in jail, this was the time to like reconstruct my whole like image to music, because I got more to offer than what they see. I see like controversy sells, but I'm not really into that. You know what I mean? But how the internet perceives it, it may seem like I'm into that. I really just want to make good music. You feel me? It's a passion of mine from young,
Right. Well, when you were out before you got locked up, did you feel like you had to be controversial to sell your music?
No, I didn't feel like that. But, sometimes it was the pandemic, the way the world was, man.
Right, yeah.
It was kind of different. I was just really just improvising.
I was improvising is a crazy way to put it. But I think like it's interesting because, I think the controversy within music is always something that's going to be there. But it's kind of like, it's a very interesting take because like in some cases, like you could, certain diss records become legendary, right? In the culture, right? And then certain diss records just kind of fade into like, not obscurity, but like into the background. It's just kind of like a time. And it's weird when you try to like think about like, okay, like what do you consider a legendary diss record? Like you think of like Ether, right? Like that's like a legendary diss record from back in the day. Yeah. But then it's like, I think about kind of the drill era, and there are some legendary diss records, but it's like you wonder if, at least I wonder, I don't know if you feel the same way, you wonder if like 20 years from now, people are going to be talking about those records the same way that they talk about Ether. You know what I'm saying? Because Ether's such like a moment in time.
I mean, I see the drill culture evolving to a point where it never did. I mean, look what Pop Smoke did to it. He made it international. Right. Yeah. So who knows what to say the future holds for drill culture. But if it do, the most disrespectful or rap disses in drill music will be, I think it will have some kind of like memory.
Yeah.
Like everlasting. But like, things come and go and people get better at it and find more creative ways.
Right.
So you never know.
Have you peeped like, this is actually like, I actually do want your take on this. Have you peeped like the different types of drill music that has kind of like, not just New York, that has come out since you've been like inside. Like I think about like the Philly drill.
Yeah.
I'll say Florida has like their drill too, huh? The Jersey club stuff.
No, I
Jersey drill.
I didn't get a chance to notice Jersey. I've been hearing it's like a new sound in Jersey.
Yeah. They got some really dope like young drill artists.
Okay.
Yeah, the sexy drill stuff. That's
yeah. I seen this. Yeah, it was surprising.
You like it?
It's cool. I mean,
Cool.
I support all drill music.
Okay.
All drill music because that's where I came from. It's amazing to see how New York, how we like adopted it from Chicago, got like kind of Chicago blessings by some of them being involved in our come up.
Yeah.
And then like how it could evolve into what it is now to where it's more marketable.
Right. I think like, with like the Bronx, like I think the Bronx is like, I've always said this throughout my career with the show, is like the Bronx is definitely more Chicago influence, and then Brooklyn got more like the UK. I think with the beats. But feel free to weigh in on that.
I mean, I feel like we all got a Chicago point of view. I mean, Chicago kind of they are the founders of drill music. I feel like Brooklyn, we just offered the style of beats was more UK, but the sound was like adopted from Chicago. Like even the way we articulated with it. So through time it started elevating. Where like now look what it is now. It went through generations of drill music. It's like it's different. This drill music been in New York since like 2014, from what I believe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or even if you look at like the new Atlanta, you're gonna see it eventually. But like the new wave of Atlanta drill music, where you look at kind of artists like, I guess Lil Tony kind of fits in that. Baby Kia. Have you heard of Baby Kia yet?
No, I haven't.
I'm gonna show you later. It's very interesting. Dirtball. But it's interesting because it's like, I see like how influential, you talk about New York and how we kind of took, the torch with what Chicago had started and we made it into our own thing. And then I see like now all these other places is kind of making like a lot of the music that I see out of like Atlanta recently, especially like the Baby Kia. It's like very like loud, screamo type of drill music, but like, I feel like I heard that in New York first.
Yeah, so it's kind of being adopted again.
It feels like it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to claim anything because people love running with shit online, but that's what it feels like now.
Okay.
But like even the yelling stuff, like I know that must have been very like the yelling drill music. I know that when you were inside, when you heard that for the first time, I know that must have been very like jarring, especially coming from the type of music that you made as well.
Right. Even though I slightly kind of yelled a little bit, but that wasn't what I was known for.
Right.
But when I hear it now, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm getting older, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like real, it's a bigger impact.
Yeah.
And I see the kids relate to it more, so, I support it because it's still going.
Right. And so, so kind of going back to like you being inside, right? You had 3 years to really sit down and think, man. And like with being inside, like I think something that a lot of artists think about is like, okay, again, on the reflecting side of what I did in the past, how do I improve on myself going forward, right? So like, what are some things that you kind of look back that you're like, yo, like I'm leaving that in the past, and this is kind of what, I want MV Caine in 2024 and beyond to be known for and be looked at.
Like I felt like idle time was like my downfall because of my original mentality before I made music was, me coming from the streets. So like that kind of like really affected my career because, I began locked up or whatever. And then like, I wanted people just to understand, like I learned my worth, and I had to really go through different phases within these 3 years of learning like what I really have. Me being locked up in the feds, I was kind of like known more than what I really thought I was. So all that attention kind of made me realize like there's 52 different states, I believe, in the feds of people being incarcerated, and for people to know me like that, it kind of made me realize like, yo, you got to go on and really take this more serious than what you did before.
Right.
And I want to be rich.
Right. But what you said phases. What are like some of the phases that you went through? Is it like 3 phases? Like what are some of the phases that you feel like you went through while you were in there?
I just went through like trying to decide what I really wanted to do. Like I went through like a phase of like changing my demeanor to make music, or changing the things I do on my spare time, and I started thinking about the things I'm gonna have to change or to adapt to, because like being more social musically was a problem of mine too before. Like, I was kind of so into like proving my point of being like a successful independent artist that I kind of was like distancing myself. Now I kind of changed that,
Right. I know like the scar on your face has been a big topic of debate, right?
Yeah.
So I explain the story of how you got this.
Streets, man. When you locked up, man, being in the street, things catch up to you.
Right.
You feel me? It is what it is. It come with the streets, man. Everything good though.
Right. Everything healthy. That's all that matters.
Everything healthy.
Since you've been back, right? What has kind of been like the hardest thing to adjust to this past week? Like, what have been some things that is like, oh man, like this is very different than when I went in.
We
How so?
Weed is just like, it's like a whole empire of it. I see it's stronger and it's like different. Like it's marketable. It wasn't. I was home when it just got legalized, but I didn't see smoke shops and spray weed and all kind of colorful smell. This is amazing. It's like, you know,
there's a smoke shop on every corner now in the city. I don't know if you peeped that yet.
It wasn't like that.
I'm literally like driving home the other day, and I had one of my folks in the car with me, and my pops was like, yo, when was there a smoke shop on every corner in the city? I said, yo, this shit happened like...
Right under your nose. You didn't even realize it.
You didn't realize. I'm like, look, 5 blocks. I said 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 3 different brands of Zaza's R Us in the towns. Like, it's becoming too much, though.
Right.
It's good for you now because you home.
Yeah,
but like, it's also like, damn.
I didn't know it was like this. I was hearing like it was serious, but I see it. You know, but it's cool.
You know, you said idle time kind of like was like your enemy in that sense of like, you know, you not putting out music. But like this past year, it kind of like in a way works out because the Why You Hiding, Ricky, like that video goes viral, right? While you're locked up.
Yeah,
and it's so crazy because it's like I'm on TikTok and I'm seeing like white girls like doing videos to this. You know, if you're from New York, you know this is Evie Caine in the video. But you see like white girls from like the Midwest like making videos of this on TikTok. How much of like that going viral were you like aware about?
When they first told me when I was locked up, I didn't understand it at first. Till everybody I spoke to was like, yo, man, like, you going, and I didn't even know what they was talking about at first until they actually pointed out and sent me screenshots from prison. I'm like, oh, wow, this for real? But I get it, like, I got a little personality sometimes. So, like, you know, a lot of people be seeing, like, if you're really close to me, you know, like, I kind of got some kind of, like, comics to me. You feel me?
Right.
So I guess I see why they like it, just the energy.
Did you, like, when you came home, did you actually get to, like, go and look at the videos people made to it?
I looked at a few, like 10 of them, but I see it's a lot of, I can curse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lot of fucking videos. I'm like, what the
you didn't realize it was that many though, right?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Because it's like, yo, Calvin, do me a favor. Get Calvin. Someone tell Calvin I need him. Calvin, do me a favor. Look up the Why You Hiding Ricky sound on TikTok. Let me know how many videos are made to it. Because I'm sure there's a bunch of different sounds, but on TikTok, you could see how many videos are made to like the sound. But like, I remember when it first started going viral, it's like, it's so crazy because it's like, I mean, if people don't understand the circumstances around that video, it's one thing because you're from the towns, but it's just so funny how like things that we just do here just always picks up and goes viral beyond
in
everything.
its own way.
Yeah.
Word, yeah, definitely. I said the same thing. I said, everything I did, that went viral. Hey, it's crazy. But I see that people never got a chance to really like see, you know, they see all like the drill and negative, you know, nobody really get to see like my personality. So like,
do you think that that's something that like is like going to be very important for you going forward to be like, look, like I understand that like this is the music I made before, like it was aggressive, a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of that, but like I'm actually like a really cool person, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, within time they're gonna see it. Plus, you know, they're gonna see my whole like intentions now. And plus, you know, when I start vlogging and doing my music,
you gonna do the vlog?
Yeah, I'm gonna start getting into the vlog. I feel like it's time to embrace my personal life to the instant. They're gonna be like, all right, yeah. Cool,
yeah,
you know?
I ain't gonna lie, I would like that. You know, with you, like, obviously the whole incident around that video was, like, involving, like, coach and whatnot. Yeah. And, like, at that time, there was a lot going on, obviously, with, like, the coach stuff, the tutu stuff, the SPNB bill stuff. Like, where are you kind of, like, at now in those relationships with those people? Like, is there any progress made? Is there not? Like, where are you kind of at mentally, like, even with that time of your life, those relationships, and how you want to move forward from that?
I mean, like I'm even more mature than what I was before, especially through what I've been through. But there's no problem with me and none of them. Like, end of the day, we all one. Like, we people, you know. So it's all love. Like, I done spoke to people. You know what I mean? So time people grow. You know what I mean? Everybody make mistakes. Everybody have disagreement. We men, but you know, we got past all that.
But everything now, like everything's like solid now.
Everything's love. Everything.
That's fine. I love that for you guys. How many videos was it? Okay, so the original sound of the.
That's just the original. There are other sounds that are pretty identical that use it too, and even those.
So basically, people can't see Calvin off camera, but Calvin is saying that there's over on the original "Why You Hiding" sound on TikTok. There's over 147,000 videos made to it. 0.1K thousand videos made to it, and then there's other sounds. That's crazy,
That's
bro.
crazy, right? I didn't know it was all that. I gotta go look at. I'm going to support all this. See what's going on.
and like it's crazy because like you know like you talk about the idleness, but like imagine if you were like here and you could actually put out a song at that time, like that would have. And you know, obviously the one hand would have washed the other with that viral video and that song too, you know?
But I feel like that was so natural back then. That shit gonna happen again, man. Because
Right.
you know, me just being me, it work out.
Yeah. Looking back to like, I know something else that like when we're talking about like reflection, there would be, especially when you were kind of talking about like the internet antics and the things that you had been through with that and kind of like trolling people even after they had like passed and thing and whatnot. Where are you kind of at now with even looking at those type of things that you had did in the past? Like, are you, I don't want to say ashamed, but do you regret some of that? And like, again, how do you move forward with that? And do you kind of put that behind you? Have you been able to put that behind you and that, you know, those things in the past?
A lot of things that was negative in my life is more so a learning experience because like negativity is what held me back from really prospering in my music career.
Right.
And I was kind of focused on the wrong things because the way I was living still at the time. I'm not on that now. I kind of like, you know, gonna got my mind right for the most part. And I'm just trying to see like, you know, how far my talent could take me now. So I kind of grew out all of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like how when you came home, like, a bunch of the comment sections, I believe it was like What NYC Sounds Like and a few other blog pages. It was really like, it was saying like the real spitter is back. You know what I'm saying? Like real lyricism. How do you plan to approach the music now? Because again, like today, when I said at the beginning of this interview, a lot of what people probably expected of you was drill music. Have you been in the studio since you've been home? Have you made any music like, or like kind of began to formulate a plan of like what the music and what MV Caine gonna sound like now?
Yeah, from the first day I came home, I went to the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't play that. I love the studio. I live in the studio.
I bet.
So and I went to the studio, and more times right now it's just like I'm just trying to like show versatility. That's all it is now. Drill is like nothing that I'm really focused on because I kind of outgrew that.
Yeah.
But I'll always keep the sound if I ever really feel like I have to.
Right.
Just don't bother me, nobody. We good, man.
But that's been like, I think something that even, you know, my friends, when we was talking about and I was getting ready for this interview, that was always something that people said. They're like, yo, people don't really in music go at envy. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's also because like, you know, in these conversations, like you're just so lyrically barred up, you know what I'm saying? That like, it's hard to compete with that, you know?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, not for nothing. I mean, anytime I ever did have like a music disagreement with somebody, I never started nothing.
Right.
I always just defended myself. But people who probably don't mention me, you're right. Now that I think about it, people really don't be mentioning me after a certain point of time.
Yeah.
Man.
Like I think about this like on the radar too, and like I've never had like anyone ever, at least that I was aware of, like try to throw a shot at you.
I think, yeah, probably so. They know I got some bars. They know I don't play that. They know I don't play that. Yeah.
But you know, even like when you were out and you know the labels were calling and whatnot, like I heard that through the grapevine, I heard that there was like a situation that could have happened with Offset at the time, right? I don't know how true that is, but
during the pandemic when I was locked up for this case, I hit my DM and my manager was corresponding with him.
Okay.
He was interested because I had a song out called Dog Time at the time that was buzzing crazy at the time, and he was like supporting it. He was trying to get next to me, but I was locked up. So throughout time, you know, through the pandemic, everything kind of got messed up. But I never really had like a real
conversation.
But we still kept in touch through the internet at one point in time back then, though. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Like you haven't spoken to him obviously since you came
like
back.
2021, not since now.
Right. Yeah. Do you like, and you know, also like there was that article that came out like a year ago about people getting like, what was it? They said that they were arrested for plotting on you for 6 years. Did you even see that when you were locked up too?
Yeah, I found out about that when I was locked up. Somebody was telling me about it when I was getting the phone.
It was like a random time for that article to come out too.
Yeah, right?
Like I remember like when it came out and I saw that, I was like, well, Envy been in jail for like 2 years when this shit came out. So I don't know why this is coming out now, but like when I was getting ready for this, I thought about that because I was like, I wonder what he thinks about like this coming out at such a weird time during his bid that like they were even talking about this for real.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know nothing about that, even when I seen it. Like, I don't know none of them, and I ain't never had no problem with none of them. So I'm kind of confused just like anybody else. But for the most part, a la su ofici ho loco. Yeah.
So what are we working on now? So we went back into the studio, right? New music on the way. Is it what are like the kind of beats that you've been working on? What's kind of like the vibe of that music that you've already recorded that's new?
When it comes to beats, I go with anything that's like vibey. Now, especially the beats I've been getting from certain producers that's been reaching out to me, I've been listening to so far since I'm home. It's different. It sounds like it's a lot of Detroit vibes, it's a lot of Southern vibes, like Florida. I See You Hot.
I ain't gonna lie, I like the Detroit shit.
I like it.
Yeah, I can see you on the Detroit shit.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I like challenges, so I'm with it. Like I'm just going whatever I go with when I go in the studio, I'm gonna just vibe out. You know
Have you challenged yourself yet?
Well, when I've been to the studio, I did things that I already had planned.
Okay.
Now I'm in the stage now that I'm comfortable already. I'm home. I'm rapping again. I've been home a couple of days now, and I've been locking in at least 3 days. I've been home 4 days, and I went to the studio
4
3
days? Hasn't been
times.
4? Oh, because today's only Monday. Oh, yeah, you came home Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was longer.
Yeah, but now I'd have been in the studio all weekend, so now I know now, like, all right, I'm back.
Right.
It's time to start experimenting. Coca Einstein, I'm about to show you something. Put my, you know?
Coca Einstein.
Yeah.
First meal back home.
Oh, steak, lobster.
Okay, respect.
I have to.
I had to.
And a little oxtail. So.
And a little oxtail too. I know you missed that.
Yeah.
What was COVID like heavy still during the time that you got locked up, or was kind of like ending at the time around then?
COVID. I got locked up December 2019, and I bailed out June 2020. Then for this case, I was out during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I got locked up 2021 for the feds.
So you just kept getting locked up during that like the pandemic time.
Yeah. And I got locked up in the middle of the pandemic, like July 2021.
Right.
For another fed case for a weapon. So I did my time for that. I just came home. Everything good. They ran my case concurrent. Everything's swell. We good. We back at it like we never left.
You never had COVID when you were inside either, right?
Yeah, I had COVID April 2020. That was serious. I learned my lesson. You have to social distance, mask. This is serious. I don't play that. I wear masks.
Yeah.
And I wear a doctor's mask, really. Like
you know what's crazy? Like everybody who I talked to who was in jail during the time that COVID was around, they all got COVID. Everybody got COVID.
Yeah, it seemed like it was more severe back then when it first dropped.
Yeah.
I think they controlled it more.
Yeah,
But
they definitely controlled it. But my boy, shout out my brother Fuego Bass from Connecticut. He was like, I just dropped this interview today, and we was just talking about how like he said he was on like a ventilator for like 12 days. Like he said like he was like jail and COVID for some reason was so much more crazier than like jail and COVID. COVID during jail time was so much crazier than like COVID like being outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at this time they just let you they give you ibuprofen and let you just go in your cell
And just hope that you get better soon.
Yeah, so it was like it's not really. But they was confused at the time. They didn't have no.
Yeah, nobody knew what was going on and shit.
I understand.
But we back and we better now, man. You know what I'm saying?
We back at it, man.
We doing steak and lobster dinners. You feel me?
You know?
A little bit of oxtail.
You know?
New music on the way.
New music on the way.
It's a good vibe, man.
Great.
Well, look, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you letting me be your first freestyle home, your first interview home. By the time people see this, freestyle out now. So please go check that out. Go run it up. It's incredible. The acapella part, you had thought about that before you came here today?
Nah, I just felt like I just wanted to get something off my chest.
Okay.
And sometimes I like to I think about things and I just run with it all day. And
Yeah.
when it's time to go, I just add shit to it.
Yeah.
So I really just be going right there.
That was like, how long was that? Was that freestyle like 4 or 5 minutes? 5 minutes. God damn. Okay, it's a 5-minute freestyle.
Yeah.
So 1 take, 5 minutes, 2 beats, and an acapella. Extremely impressive, man. I can't wait for the people to see this. By the time you guys see this, MV Caine freestyle out now, first day out. We are back. But look, man, new music on the way. Happy you good. Before we get up out of here, this is kind of like our thing. Let the people know where they can follow you. Anything else you want to let fans know? Now's the time to do it. This camera on the right here.
Oh, yeah. Yo, it's your boy MV Caine, Coca Jigga. Go follow me on Instagram, Coca Jigga _. Feel me? That's the only social media I got for the moment. And TikTok, too, is MV Caine. Tap in, man. We about to go crazy, man. Support me. Team Login, Situation Game. We back at it like we never left. This is my city. You know, it's time to turn up. Let them know the real is back.
There you go. Well, go check out everything he has on now. Make sure you go follow him. Go run up the freestyle. Go show him some love. Go show him some support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all already knew that. Till next time, MV Caine on the radar. First day out now. Peace. My guy. Love.
I am my boy.